Hey guys. Alright, so we're going to have a little bit of a talk while I am working with, at this point, a purchase that has now turned into pretty much a rescue. And this is more of a disclaimer, a warning to anyone that is purchasing a snake. In my case, I started getting into blood pythons, and I decided I wanted to start breeding bloods. I already breed balls and a few other reptiles. And I decided I wanted to start breeding bloods. And I had purchased one of our bloods that you saw in our very first video from this specific breeder, and I'm not going to name any names, even though I have a feeling this guy knew exactly what he was sending me. So I had purchased that female from him, and while I was purchasing her, he kind of, said, hey, by the way, I've got two other snakes, if we add in, let's say $200, I'll throw in the other two, and I'll cover the difference for the shipping, because the weight will be a little bit higher. Now, I didn't particularly want to get into Borneos. But I have a friend that really has been wanting his first snake, and I was like, you know what? I didn't need the male. I already have a male that's really going to work with what I'm aiming for. I was like, I'll give him the male. No big deal, right? So my friend now has the other blood, because I got two bloods, a male, a female, and then a Borneo female, and that's this girl. The night of shipping, and this should have been my red flag, and I should have said, you know what, man, let's go ahead and back out on this. I'm not feeling comfortable with it. But I wasn't thinking the worst. I tend to be a very trustworthy person, which is, my downfall. I trust people until I prove that I can't be trusted, or till otherwise proven that I should not trust you. And I think a lot of us reptile folks are really caring, kind-hearted people that tend to be pretty trusting, at least from what I've found. Anybody that cares for animals tends to be pretty trusting and pretty caring, and I think caring and trusting come hand in hand. So, fast forward, snakes get here. He had told me, I was having some humidity issues, it's the winter, it's up north, blah, blah, blah. So she has some issues with shed. Okay, so this girl I have now had for, I want to say about 2.5 weeks. All three I've had for about 2.5 weeks. I got them in, and this girl had stuck shed all over her. And this girl still has stuck shed all over her. I'm finally getting to that point, after kind of, making sure she's in the right humidities and things along those lines, of getting probably what feels like to me almost 5 layers of stuck shed. I just pulled three additional layers of stuck shed off of her tail, and I had probably gotten 2 layers of shed off of her tail and off of her body when we first got her and gave her a bath. So that is going to push me towards my second problem that I'm having now with all 3 of these snakes. And this is why the best deal sometimes is the worst deal. So if somebody's offering you a deal that just feels too good to be true, my best advice to you is question absolutely every part of it. So, I get all 3 snakes. I'm like, okay, they come from humidity issues. I got them out of their bags, and I immediately went to the bathtub. I didn't do too much checking, and I should have checked, and I should have checked twice. So, I got them all to the bathtub, got them soaking. I used the old school olive oil, the extra virgin olive oil trick to really make sure that I got some hydration in their skin. Because if I couldn't get all of the shed off in one shot, which can be pretty uncomfortable for a snake when it's really stuck on like this girl, it gets some moisture into their stuck sheds, so that the next time they shed, I can get the rest off of it. Normally, when they're this bad, they shed pretty often because they're trying to get rid of all this shit. And you can see, like, there's black and dark brown in between the scales that have been lifting. Now she's starting to get smooth, but right now, if I look at her, she's got scales that are raised up because there's 2 layers of shed underneath those scales. I keep getting off topic because I wasn't going to do a video on this. I didn't want to put this kind of stuff on blast, but it happens, and it's starting to it's just slowly gotten to me, and now I'm here for the second time in this bath trying to get this girl so that she can at least feel comfortable to a degree, because she has another problem. The other problem I have with all 3 snakes that I missed because of the bath is they all were developing a respiratory problem. And I believe all 3 snakes have a respiratory issue. I've set up an appointment with our vet. I will be taking them in about 2 weeks. So I am doing all of the, possible things to help them through it. Nebulizer and all that fun stuff. It doesn't seem to be getting worse. But I am no expert when it comes to respiratory infections because I've been doing this for nearly 15 years, and I've never had a snake with a respiratory issue because, let's face it, my husbandry is normally on point, and I don't normally make mistakes when buying reptiles because most cases I'm buying them firsthand. I really have only just recently started doing any kind of purchasing online, and there's only really one place to purchase snakes online of any type that you could think of. So as you know, I purchased these off of Morph Market. And once I noticed the respiratory infection, it took me about 2 days. Because I chalked it up to, they got a bath, they probably got some water in their nose, that's why the extra loud, hissiness and all this, that, and the other, and they're blood pythons, so they're already huffy. So I chalked it up to a lot of stuff that I should have caught had I had really thoroughly checked them before I went to the bath. But I had already known, we have, humidity issues and stuck sheds and this, that, and the other, and so I went straight to solve one problem and missed another one. I was in the ethical conundrum when I noticed that they all had respiratory issues of, I should just return these snakes. But at the same time, anybody that has let their snakes get as bad as this girl's shed is, so you can see, let me turn the camera around. Sorry, I'm in my bathroom. I can't turn the camera around because I'm recording. So right here where my finger is, there are raised scales. It's hard to see because my camera won't focus because it's a front-facing camera. Raised scales all over this poor girl. Which to me, I've already said probably 4 or 5 stuck sheds at least. And I'm just now finally getting through this. And this is with her being in a humid dome with a humidifier running for 15 minutes, 2 times a day. A little bit of her sitting on a higher humidity for a short period of time, like 80, 90%, for, an hour or 2 throughout the day. And then I bring the humidity way down, back down into the realm of 60, 70%. This is just, I was seeing all these problems with the snake, and in good conscience, I was like, I can't send these snakes back. So from what I understand, my vet bill is probably going to be close to $1,000 for 3 snakes, because my vet wants to see all 3, which I don't necessarily 100% agree with. They're all going to have the same respiratory infection type. They all are presenting the same symptoms. Minus the shedding issue. This one is the only one with a major shed issue. So I've got all these issues, and I'm going to be paying for them, and it's because I didn't look, and I probably shouldn't have went for the best deal, but, for once I went for the best deal, and it bit me in the ass. So, moral of the story, best deal, not always the best.